Yo, welcome to episode number 1 of Dumbbells and Dollars show. My name is Jay Azeltine, not Azeltine, Azeltine. I'm going to be the host. Pretty excited about the show, honestly, for a number of reasons. I feel like I can teach a lot of people my age some things just because of the people I've been around. But I feel like I can also learn a few things by teaching. Pretty adamant about that you learn the most through teaching people, not only just in class, but also in the gym and just a lot of different areas of life. So I think today, for the first episode, we'll just go through a little bit of my background. We'll talk a little bit about my vision for the show. I have really big aspirations and hopes for it. Because like I said, I think I can help a lot of people and I can help myself as well at the same time, mutually beneficial. So without any further ado, let's get started. I began training at 16. It was the summer of, I was going into my junior year of high school, yeah. So after my sophomore year, one of my track coaches actually texted me and he said, you want to go to the gym? I said, I guess. I've never actually really worked out, but I'll give it a try. So I showed up. First workout went well. He said, meet me here tomorrow at the same time. I showed up again, went well. Showed up third day, it went well. And honestly, I felt something click, like, this is for me. I think I could potentially fall in love with this. So I just kept showing up every single fucking day, and something happened. Here we are. But yeah, so I'm 22 years old now. So 6 years of training, and that's not 6 years of, yeah, I go to the gym 3 times a week, every couple of fucking weeks. No, that's 7 days a week, sometimes twice a day, sometimes even 3 times a day if I'm feeling real froggy. But no, I used to train probably 10 plus times a week. Now I've cut it down to 7 or 8. Sometimes my body needs a little rest. It just depends how much you do per workout, I guess, really. But 6 years though, pretty heavily. I feel like I've learned a lot in those 6 years as well, just because of the people I've been around. Been super fortunate to train at Old School Gym, which I'll get into in a second. Learned from a ton of mentors there, not just about fitness, but also about life, life principles, just a lot of different cool things. And also, I mean, I've just met so many cool people there that have become like family to me. It's not just you go to the gym and you see these people that also have memberships there. No, Old School is a family, and definitely built some cool ties there. So, like I said, been training at Old School for 5 years. So about a year after I started working out, I got introduced to Old School by actually a friend's dad who was, because I hurdled in track, I was a hurdler, and the other hurdler, his dad, super crazy bodybuilder, he's a freak, Tom Basso. He taught me a lot as well. He introduced me to Old School when I was about 17, and he was training us actually there for track. So that was kind of cool. I got hooked right away. I was kind of intimidated at first, actually, honestly. I was just a little tiny-ass little kid. I was probably 150 pounds when I went there. No muscle at all, and I got hooked. So, Old School Gym. I worked at Muscle Farm for 2.5 years. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard that company name a few times, mainly because of Corey Gregory, Muscle Farm Prez, Corey G Fitness now. He's been a mentor of mine for a long time, which I'll get into in a second, the importance of mentors, who I've been mentored by so far. But yeah, so at Muscle Farm, I did social media there, and customer service as well, mainly social media, directly under Corey. I feel like I learned a ton about social media, but also about business. He kind of treated us like we were all entrepreneurs, like we were running our own business. So it wasn't like I was just working a normal 9 to 5. I learned a lot of cool things from him. Pretty interesting dude. Learned a lot about supplementation, obviously, as well, fitness, which both of those are given. But the social media stuff, marketing stuff, I've definitely taken with me, and I feel like I'll utilize throughout my life. So thankful to Corey for that. Published fitness model. So I don't really like calling myself a fitness model, but I guess technically I am, because I've been in a couple magazines. I went up and shot with Arthur Arsenic, which he's out of Toronto, Canada. So if you're ever looking to do a photo shoot, hit him up. He's one of the best. I'd say he's the best. I haven't shot with anyone else, but he did win North American Best Photographer a few years back, or actually maybe last year. So hit him up. If you want his info, I can give it to you. Really cool dude. Definitely, if you're doing your first shoot, recommend him. He helped us through it. Made it super easy and felt super comfortable as well. So cool ass dude. My first article I wrote was about just the process of my photo shoot. It took me 10 weeks to cut down. Some of the hardest 10 weeks of my life, mentally and physically. I honestly didn't expect it to be so hard with the diet and the training. I mean, I was training at that point twice a day most days, like I said, like I talked about earlier. sugar and processed bullshit for 8 to 10 weeks. I think it was probably 10 weeks before I had a cheat meal. I was feeding so hard, I was like a crackhead looking for crack when I was not eating sugar. It's a lot more addictive than most people think. So that was interesting. I learned a lot about myself throughout that process. I definitely recommend it to anyone that's into fitness, just going through it, having that date on the calendar that you're working towards. That's what I like most about it, I think. And just the whole process in general taught me a lot. So recommend that. And my second article was about abs and just what it takes to have abs, ab workouts. A lot of you guys probably know, if you've ever had abs, that it's made in the gym, or made in the kitchen, not in the gym. You do have to do ab workouts, but no matter how many ab workouts you do, unless you have freak genetics, you're not going to see your abs unless you're eating right. If you're eating some bullshit potato chips and pizza and McDonald's every day, you're not going to have your abs unless you're a professional athlete. A lot of those guys eat like garbage and still have abs, unfortunately for me. I got to work hard, but those both are published in Natural Muscle. It's a super small magazine, and I had a third one come out about chasing greatness. I'm just obsessed with greatness in any field, any aspect, just becoming the best in your industry, just mastering it, self-mastery. So we can talk about that later on. Mentors have been huge for me. I talked about Corey Gregory. Dude has changed my life. I met him when I was 17, right away. Well, not right away, I guess within 6 months to a year I started training with him at 5 a.m. That was when I really started to grow mentally, I'd say, and grow into that business mindset, that entrepreneurial mindset, just because not only him, but there were a couple dudes there that were doing their own thing. They're entrepreneurs, pretty successful. So I didn't learn just fitness at those 5 a.m. workouts. I learned a lot about life, philosophy, business, like I was talking about earlier. I mean, it's crazy how those work together. I mean, I've had a couple mentors, but Corey's my main one. We can talk about the importance of mentors later on. I think it's huge. If you don't have a mentor, whether you're trying to be a successful writer, you're trying to be a successful real estate investor, you're trying to be successful at whatever, you should be working with someone that's 20 years ahead of you, 10 years ahead of you, whatever. You can have multiple mentors as well, but you need to be learning from somebody that has actually already done it, so they can kind of show you how they got to where they're at and recommend what you need to be doing. So a little bit of background on me. I guess I should include I dropped out of college last year, become an entrepreneur. I've always wanted to become a real estate investor, so I'm currently a real estate agent. So if you live in Ohio, looking to buy or sell a house, hit me up. But my main goal is to become a real estate investor. I want to buy a lot of rental properties because the return on investment of rental properties is ridiculous. They provide a ton of cash flow, passive income, which this book, I need to talk about books as well, because books have changed my life. But this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which Corey recommended, actually is one of the first books I ever read outside of school. That was like a self-development book, which I'm huge on. Self-help, self-development books. Talks about passive income, cash flow, different things like that. Definitely recommend that. Anyways, rental properties are great for that, essentially. So if you're trying to free yourself from a job, look into rental properties and real estate in general. While we're on the topic, books though, self-help books have completely changed my life. A few of them, Rich Dad Poor Dad, like I said, Wisdom of Andrew Carnegie, Compound Effect, How to Win Friends and Influence People. So many good books. If you check out my blog is actually called Dumbbells and Dollars as well. I have a whole book list on there, and attached I have links for Amazon. I buy all my books from Amazon. Amazon Prime's my shit. Free shipping, 2-day shipping. So go on there, buy some of those books. It'll change your fucking life. I'm telling you, just do it. And other than that, I mean, I'm sure I'm missing something, but I feel like I have a pretty good background with fitness and been around a lot of good entrepreneurs, but mainly fitness though. I've learned from so many people, so I feel like I can speak on some topics and have a decent knowledge base on it. But I'm always looking to learn and gain more knowledge, obviously, as everybody should be doing. Alright, let's talk about some of the visions that I have for the blog or for the video. Like I said, I have big aspirations for it. I think it can be huge, not only for myself, but for the viewers. So some of the things we'll talk about, not only fitness, but also nutrition. I can speak on fitness and nutrition pretty well. Like I said, I cut for a shoot. I have some experience with cutting weight. I've done a lot of bodybuilding in my life, but I've also done stints through powerlifting as well. So I've got some pretty good knowledge on powerlifting and strength training. So we'll talk about that kind of stuff, but we'll also talk about literature. Like I said, I'm huge on books, so I think we'll probably talk a lot about self-help books and just how they can affect your life. I'll probably summarize some books like that and go from there. And then also business. I'm obviously not that seasoned in business yet. I'm only 22 years old. I've been around some successful investors, entrepreneurs, and so forth. So I've kind of picked up on their tendencies and what makes them successful. But I'm an aspiring entrepreneur, trying to learn. And as I grow and learn as an entrepreneur, I feel like I can share some of that information with you guys, and everybody can grow and learn. Other than that, though, I'll probably have 2 episodes a week, depending on the length of them. And other than that, if you guys have any questions, hit me up. I'm always free to answer any kind of questions. If you got any tips, hints, critiques, recommendations, I'm sure there's some wind blowing through the speakers. I decided to do it outside today because it's so fucking nice, but that may be a problem, so it's maybe the last one outside if the wind's too bad on the mic. Yeah, so episode 2, we're probably going to talk about diet, the difference between a diet and a lifestyle. It pisses me off when people, when I'm at a restaurant, I order some healthy food, like I'm super big into low carb, so I'll order maybe some chicken and steak and a sweet potato or something like that. And I won't eat any of the bread or the biscuits or whatever the fuck everyone else is eating. And they'll say, what are you, on a diet? No, motherfucker, I eat a healthy lifestyle, live a healthy lifestyle. A diet is something that you do for a small period of time. So that kind of irritates me a little bit. So that's probably what we'll talk about in episode 2, maybe some other stuff, and we'll go from there. Until then, much love, keep hustling.